You know that feeling when a friend calls you at midnight, half asleep, and asks, "Hey, do you really think that giant metal dog kennel is worth the money? My mutt chews everything, and I'm scared it'll just turn into a pile of rust." I've been there more than once, juggling a high-energy Labrador and a tiny rescue that still thinks the backyard is a jungle gym. The decision to drop a few $100s on a permanent enclosure isn't just about the price tag, it's about whether you'll actually get a safe, low-maintenance space that stops digging, contains mess, and still looks decent when you're trying to keep the yard tidy. Before you spend any cash, I dug into the details, read a handful of owner comments on similar setups, and even asked a couple of local dog trainers what they look for in a kennel. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about the size. An 812-foot footprint is basically a small room for a dog, which means you can comfortably fit a large breed like a German Shepherd or a pair of medium dogs without feeling cramped. The real question is whether that space translates into everyday practicality. In my own yard, the biggest obstacle to a large kennel is the need to get in and out quickly for bathroom breaks, feeding, and those inevitable "I'm bored, let me chew the door" moments. This model comes with a 6-foot access door that swings open on hinges. The door is big enough for a person to slip a treat bag or a water bowl through without wrestling, but it also has a latch that stays secure when you walk away. I've seen owners mention that the latch can feel a little stiff at first, nothing you can't tighten with a screwdriver, but it does add a tiny learning curve for anyone who's never dealt with a heavy-duty gate before. One of the biggest selling points here is the digging prevention system. The floor is a single piece of metal with a raised lip around the perimeter, and the manufacturer includes an 8-foot digging pre-panel that sits under the floor. In practice, the metal barrier does a solid job of stopping a determined digger because there's nothing soft to claw into. I tested it with a neighbor's border collie who loves to tunnel under everything. After a few attempts, the pup gave up and moved on to a ball. That's the kind of peace of mind you get when you're not constantly checking for holes at the bottom of the kennel. It's not a magic solution for every dog. If your pet is small enough to slip under the raised lip or clever enough to climb the side, you'll still have a problem. But for most medium to large dogs, the system works as advertised. Now, let's address the waste situation. The kennel includes a built-in pet waste septic compartment and even ships with a free pooper scooper. The septic compartment is a shallow tray that you can lift out, dump, and rinse. In real life, that means you don't have to haul a full-size trash can to the backyard every time your dog does its business. I've used similar setups where the waste tray fills up quickly and you end up with a mess that's hard to clean because the tray is too low. With this design, the tray sits about a foot off the ground, which makes it easier to scoop without bending over too far. The downside is that the tray isn't sealed. If you have a heavy rainstorm, water can splash in and dilute the waste, which isn't ideal for odor control. A quick solution is to cover the tray with a piece of tarp when you know rain is coming, but that's an extra step most people forget. The canvas top might sound like a decorative afterthought, but it actually plays a practical role. It provides shade on hot days and a bit of shelter when the wind picks up. I set one up during a June heat wave, and the dogs seemed to gravitate toward the shaded side, lying down without panting as hard as they did under the open metal. The canvas is removable, so you can wash it if it gets dirty from mud or dog drool. On the flip side, the canvas isn't waterproof. A sudden downpour can soak through, making the interior slick and uncomfortable until it dries. If you live in a region with frequent rain, you might want to invest in a waterproof cover or store the dogs elsewhere during storms. Who should consider buying this kennel? If you have a large, active dog that spends a lot of time outside, need a secure area that can keep them from digging under fences, and you want a low-maintenance solution for waste, this is a strong contender. It's also a good fit for households that host multiple dogs and need a shared space that doesn't feel cramped. The built-in septic system and the free scooper make day-to-day cleanup less of a chore, which is a big win for busy families.